have a really crazy one for you guys today. We have 2 sessions. The first one, I walked up to the table, I said, hey guys, I've only got an hour and then I gotta leave, just letting you know. And wow, I'm glad I did, because it was absolutely insane. And then the second session has a bluff for my entire stack where I shove it in and I do a couple things that make it more likely to get the bluff through. Did it work? We'll go over that in a bit. Also, we're on the road to 5K subs. If you guys could help me get there, leaving a like and a sub helps the channel a ton, helps me get more videos out faster. Enough of the intro, let's get into the poker. The first hand we look down at is pocket 7s from the button. I told everyone, hey guys, I'm only going to be here for an hour, so everyone is aware of the situation. If I stack someone, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go. And yeah, we've got pocket 7s on the button. The hijack opens to 15. I call, and the small blind calls to a flop of 7 ace 4. Wow, we have the second nuts, one of our first hand. That is what I'm talking about. And the hijack continues for $20. I know there's 2 spades, but I'm just not going to raise. I think that's just a little bit of scared money here in position. I call, and so does the small blind. The turn is a 6 of hearts, a great card. It introduces more draws, but we really should be ahead here almost all the time. But now the small blind just lead jams for $67. The hijack basically snap calls, and it's on me. Now the small blind is all in, right? So if she has a draw, we don't care. We can't do anything about it anyways. I definitely think the hijack is more weighted towards an ace, which leads me towards more of a call in position here. But this time I actually just go for the raise. I raise it on up to 145. The hijack is a guy who I think has been playing the best against me out of everyone that I play consistently against the last month, and he folds ace 10 face up. I show pocket 7s, and the small blind shows ace deuce, so we have her drawing dead. The river is a meaningless 5, and we win. Now look, if I just call the turn there, like the 5 gets very weird. I don't think we're losing, but can I bet it or call a bet? I'm not sure. So the turn raises what I'm saying is I'm not sure, but we win the first hand regardless. I've got king queen suited here in later position. I pop it up to $15 and get 2 callers to a flop of 7-6-6. Wow, that's pretty good. I think this is a flop to bet at 100% frequency. If we're ever behind to anything but a 6 or better, we have 2 overs in clubs, obviously. I continue for $25 and only get 1 caller. The turn is the king of diamonds. Now, I think we have an inflection point. This guy isn't super deep, and there really is no river card we don't want to see outside of like a 3-outer offsuit ace or maybe a 7. I actually go for the check here for deception, and it works. He snap jams for like $41. I snap call and tell him I can basically beat anything but a 6. And he shows me king deuce, which means he's drawing to a chop. The river actually is a deuce, but it doesn't matter. We win it right there. We then get king jack in the small blind, open it to 15, go multi-way, flop a king, c-bet for 40, and win another hand. And then we get queen jack on the button. The cutoff raises to $15. I call and the low jack call. The flop is not great. We have a gutter and a couple overs. It actually checks around. And then before the turn is even dealt, the low jack just jams for $83. The turn ends up being a queen and it folds to me. A lot of players, I think you could easily find a muck here, but this is a guy that gives a ton of action like yours truly. I just don't think we can find a fold here. I put in the call. The river's a 7. There's a 1-liner to a 6. I tell him I have a queen and he says, you're good, and shows 7-4. Wow, stuff is going in the right direction. If stuff couldn't get better, we pick up pocket aces in the hijack. I open it up to $20 and only get a call from the cutoff. The flop looks like this, and I think it's one where it's fine to check out of position here as a trap to an aggressive player, and she doesn't fall for it. She checks behind. The turn is this, and now I think it's time for a delayed c-bet. I actually bet out for $40, and she looks at it and folds face up and shows pocket deuces. Wow, at least she didn't flop a deuce, and it could have went the other direction very quickly. There's not a lot of money to get post-flop. I've got 5-8 of diamonds. There's a open at $10, a ton of calls. I stick in the call as well. To a flop of 6-8-8. We flop trips. I check, and the original opener just jams all in for around $70. The next guy to act starts going into the tank, and this is where I start to think, okay, we flop trips, great, but our kicker does not play. If the guy that's tanking has an 8 and calls here, it's going to get kind of weird. Eventually, he folds. Everyone else folds, and when it gets to me, I stick in the call and inform her I have an 8. She says she has pocket aces. The run out is clean, and we scoop another pot. The guy that tank folded said he had pocket 9, so interesting. And we were in for 300. out for $885 in right around an hour of play. Not a bad hourly, and let's just say the next session in this vlog right here is not going to go as smoothly. This session comes from the next day. We join a brand new table in for 300 again. I've got queen 5 of diamonds, kind of an iffy hand. There's an open from the button straddle, a few calls, and I put in the call as well. The flop comes jack 8-7. We have a flush draw. That's pretty decent. It checks in flow to the opener, and he bets out for $30. It folds around to me, and I put in the call. The turn is a 5. Now, that gives us a little bit of extra equity against any one-pair hand that doesn't block us at all. I check, and he continues for $50. Don't think there's much to do here. I put in the call. I don't think a raise will fold king-jack or better, so I think it's just a call spot here. And the river is a 6 of clubs. Now, do I think we're good right here with a 5? No, I do not. And the guy in the hand is, like yours truly, somewhat of a calling station, so I don't love the idea of bluffing, but I really don't want to show down a pair of 5, so what can I do? Well, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. There is a one-liner, and I already know I'm jamming here, right? I'm going to bluff this hand. It's going to happen. What can I do to make him think I've got it? Watch this. I'm all in. Yeah, I give him the whole tree. I give him the sigh, I give him the chip slam. And then what you don't see is I also show him the queen of diamonds. And also, because as I said, I zoomed in on the board, and as I zoomed out, I didn't correctly zoom out, so my bad. You don't see me showing him the queen of diamonds, and also, like, putting my hand into muck, like, hey, man, I know you're not going to call. I'm acting like I want to call when I really want to fold. So I gave him the sigh, I gave him the chip slam before I put the money in, like I didn't like the board, and then I showed him a card that made it look like I wanted him to call. All that, and he still takes for like a minute and a half. I'm sweating bullets, and eventually, he picks up his chips, he counts it out, and then he puts it back down and puts in the fold. I show him the 5 of diamonds because I can't help myself, and I'm very proud of that one. I'm not gonna lie. That's, if you are trying to pull off a bluff, if you give people the old sigh raise, they sigh all in, they always think you're strong. Add that into your game. And for those of you that play against me all the time and watch these vlogs, I am going to like double reverse do that, so don't watch out for that. We are a bit short-handed here as it's a brand new table. I opened king 9 of hearts at $12, and the lady on my left just ships it for around $65. When it gets to me, this person is like yours truly, likes to put money in the middle, and it's king 9 of hearts. What's the worst thing that could happen? Not a call I need to be making, but a call I think I want to make. I put in the call. We're going 1-2 run out, and let's look at what happens.
God damn it. Oh wait, I bowled it.
Really?
Fuck, yes.
Yeah, so we end up making a flush, but she makes a full house. Wow, not the best run out I've ever seen. Quite a fun one for the neutrals, I'm sure. And we lose a pot. We look down at pocket 8s a few hands later. I put up to 12 and get 3 callers to a flop of 8-4-3. Wow, we flop the nuts with pocket 8s. I've mentioned that 10s historically are my favorite hand. They've been letting me down as of late. I think now the only real consistent hand that I flop sets with like 50% of the time, it's pocket 8s. So, you know, it's now my new favorite hand. It checks to me, and I actually check. The lady on my left bets out for $20. The other 2 guys fold, and I put in the call. The turn is a 6 of diamonds. I check to her again, and she continues for $20. I was really hoping she would size up, but she didn't. And there is a lot of draws now that we want to deny equity from, so I raise that on up to $60. She looks at it, looks at me very confused, like, how could I do this? And eventually just puts in the fold. Don't love to see that, but yeah, at least we flop top set and we win a little bit of our money back. I've got 9-6. I limp with everyone to a flop of 9-6 with 2 clubs. Wow. There's a bet for $15, a call, and when it gets to me, I do want to raise here. There are quite a few draws and a lot of bad turn cards. I raised to $50, and both of them call. What do y'all think is the best turn card in the deck? Did anyone guess the 9 of clubs? Wow, it checks to me, and I am certain I'm about to get paid, right? I mean, clubs just got there. A 9 now has trips that I'm coolering the hell out of. I am beyond excited for this card, and I don't want to scare anyone away. I bet for $65. Very confident I'm going to get a call or 2. The first guy, who in fairness is a bluffer and is very aggressive, folds. The second guy, I think, is one that will call me. and he folds. How do they know? That is really frustrating. That was actually, as you can see, the table is filled up. A ton of time has passed. We went really, really card dead, and at the end of it, we were in for 300, out for 182. We lost about $118. It's one of those sessions where I could not get involved. This is the only hand we hit like in the last 2 hours, and we didn't get as much action as we wanted. Kind of bled out there, but not the biggest loss we've ever had. So if you guys enjoyed the vlog, much appreciated. If you can leave a like, leave a sub, helps a lot, and I will see you guys next time.